So as you can tell from the sky, Mother Nature's continuing to be finicky about giving us a couple good days on a weekend. But I think I'll be able to squeak in a little ride and finally tell you the story of Ma and Pa. The story of Ma and Pa starts out about 40 years ago when I was young and dumb and setting out in this world all on my own. I was lucky enough to get a job here in the Lakes region, and I was getting paid big money, making twice the minimum wage at least at the time. Get a second job. But anyways, I moved up here right at the beginning of the summer, and summer in the Lakes region is just glorious. But that particular summer, I was working my tail off, and what was left, I spent going to all kinds of parties, meeting new friends and whatnot, having a great time. Life was grand. I'm on my own. It became a weekly occurrence to go to this one friend's house and have cookouts, because he had to sit around, and his parents owned a little motel, and they like to take off on the weekends, and he managed the motel, and because he couldn't go anywhere with the rest of us, we all went to him and had great cookouts. We used to go down to this one little deli down in Weirs Beach, which, shame it's no longer in business, but the guy was about 102 years old back then anyways, that owned it. So, oh Lord, he'd bring out the roasts and cut steaks right there fresh for us, and he knew that we knew what a good cut of steak looked like, so we got some real good steaks for real short cash. And we'd go back up to a friend's house and eat real good steaks and drink lots of beer and have a good time. Now, of all the friends you're meeting, I don't know, back then I had a couple different types of friends, probably about 3. You had the crazy ones, which were always leading you off to do really crazy stuff and see how much trouble they could get you into. All kinds of fun. Then every group usually has a couple, I'll just call them steady friends. And they fall into the category of folks that have kind of figured out a little bit about what this existence on your own is all about, and that there are some responsibilities, and they try to impart some of that wisdom on you anyways. And then you have the third group, which is that group of people that they've kind of figured out what life is starting to throw at us, but they still enjoy doing some of the crazy stuff. And Ma and Pa kind of fall into that category. So anyways, these Sunday cookouts, Ma and Pa were there every week, and we became pretty good friends. Usually ended up down at their house a few times and finishing off the evenings and so forth. So we started becoming pretty good friends over the summer. And then fall rolls around, and my second job is gone, and I'm not making as much money, and all of a sudden it hits me. Yep, a reality. I realize that I'm aspiring to be poor. Renting a little one-room apartment and barely being able to feed myself. Got a stereo that I'd pieced together through my college years that could blow the doors off the place, but I didn't have a TV. And as the sun starts setting earlier, you start, I don't know, you can't go out and do stuff anymore, so you start getting bored. Anyways, one fall evening, I was just near bored to tears, and I was wondering, shouldn't really call them Ma and Pa yet. because we haven't gotten to that particular part of the story, but we'll keep names private. So anyways, I was thinking, what are Mom and Pa doing? So one night after my bologna and cheese sandwich and can of soup, and yes, I was living high on the hog that week. I can afford bologna. I said, oh, maybe go down and see if they can put up with me for an hour or two. And I go down, knock on the door, and walk in, and there's Mom and Pa sitting down to dinner. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll come back in an hour or so. Oh, no, don't be silly, we have plenty, sit down, join us. Says, no, I already eaten. No, really, I'll be back. Nope, won't hear of it, sit down, I'll get you a plate. So at this particular point in time, they didn't realize it, but they were making a big mistake. They were feeding me. And if you've ever been told never feed a stray cat, the reason it's always given is they'll keep coming back. And well, you can probably kind of guess where this story is going from here, but I sat down and had dinner with them, and it was the best I'd eaten for a while. And I got over my guilt of barging in on them. Anyways, a few nights later, this thing is like, I wonder what Mom and Pa up to. So, went down a bit later, you know. They have dinner at 6. I'll go down at 7. Knock on the door, walk through the door, and there they are sitting down to dinner. It's like, I'm sorry, I've already eaten, I'll come back. And no, sit down, Ma, I'll get you a plate. And, oh Lord, and so Ma got me a plate, and I sat down and ate. And a few days later, I think it was even on a Saturday or Sunday, I was like, aha, I'll go down early. Leave before dinner. I've got this figured out, by God. So I head down like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and knock on the door, walk through the door, and by God, there they are sitting down at dinner. And at this point, it's really embarrassing. It's like, you know, I'm really not trying to do this. I'm trying not to do this. It's kind of embarrassing, in all honesty. It's just, I hate to take advantage of friends like this, but oh, we have plenty, sit down. So sat down, had dinner again. This time I didn't even have to have my bologna and cheese sandwich and a can of soup. So anyways, this actually kept going on for a while. And got to the point where they just started setting a place for me. Like, yeah, JR will be down. Set a place, and I walk in the door, and kind of hard to say no when they planned on it. And as of that point, whether they knew it or not, they'd adopted the stray cat. And I kept coming back. Over the course of the fall and the winter, they adopted a couple more stray cats, and they had a whole family of us, and we all called them Mom and Pa, and they seemed to enjoy it. So that's the story of how Mom and Pa came to be. But over the years, the last 40 years, Mom and Pa have been 2 of my best friends on the planet. They've been there with me through all the good times, and they love to hear the stories of when they weren't around, and sharing the joy of all the good times I've experienced. And they've been there and standing right behind me through the bad times. So here I am on a Friday night, 40 years later, heading over to Mom and Pa's for dinner.